Bedtime story, The Mischievous Vegetables. In the happiest vegetable garden of dear Grandma Kindheart lived many different kinds of vegetables, all together in harmony. There were bright red tomatoes, plump green cucumbers, big leafy cabbages, and all sorts of other delicious vegetables you could imagine. But in this lovely garden, there was a secret hidden deep within. Most of the vegetables there, they did not believe in singing. They would often say to each other, "Singing is just nonsense. It's embarrassing to sing for no reason, and it's not useful at all." But there was one little vegetable who thought differently. This was the mischievous carrot, a lovable little carrot who cherished music with all his heart. He loved to hum softly every day, from morning until night. Even though the other vegetables looked at him strangely, he didn't mind. Carrot was always happy when he sang. One day, a summer storm rushed over the vegetable garden with great fury. It rained heavily for many days, and water flooded everywhere. When the storm finally calmed down, it left behind damage and despair. The soil in the vegetable garden became as hard as stone. All the vegetables in the garden began to wilt and droop, their leaves curling in sadness. Dear Grandma Kindheart was very upset. She tried to water them, loosen the soil, and add fertilizer, but nothing worked. The soil remained hard, and the vegetables stayed gloomy. The mischievous carrot saw how sad Grandma and his fellow vegetables were, and he felt a pang of sadness too. Carrot sat and thought, and thought, and thought about how he could help his friends and Grandma. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his little head. Music! Yes! Music! Carrot exclaimed softly to himself. He remembered hearing Grandma humming gentle tunes as she tended the garden. And every time Grandma sang, the soil in the garden seemed to become loose and rich, and the vegetables looked so fresh and happy. Music is it. Music will surely help the soil become soft again, and make the vegetables bright and lively once more. Carrot believed with all his heart. Gathering all his courage, Carrot decided to go to his fellow vegetables and invite them to sing together. "Friends, let's all sing together," Carrot said with a cheerful voice, but what Carrot received in return was laughter and rejection. "Ha ha ha, Carrot, have you gone mad?" Tomato the elder, a vegetable who seemed the oldest and most stubborn in the garden, laughed loudly. "What can singing possibly do? Hard soil needs fertilizer and a hoe, silly. What nonsense!" Cucumber the shy, although she didn't laugh, just shook her head gently. I'm too embarrassed to sing." "No, thank you." Cabbage the grumbler mumbled and grumbled, "Singing is just a waste of time." Utterly pointless. I don't see any use for it. The other vegetables all shook their heads too, disagreeing with Carrot's idea. Everyone thought Carrot was being ridiculous. Carrot felt a little sad, but he didn't give up. Even if you all won't sing, I will sing by myself, Carrot declared firmly, and so Carrot began to sing all alone. A tiny melody rose in the quiet vegetable garden. La la la. Dear soil, please soften and crumble. Dear vegetables, please be bright and lively. Carrot's song was clear and full of hope. Even though he felt a little awkward at first, as he continued singing, Carrot began to feel happy and joyful with his own music. He closed his eyes gently, singing from his heart, letting his song float throughout the garden. When Cucumber the Shy heard Carrot's song, she started to feel her heart soften. She secretly peeked at Carrot singing so earnestly, seeing the determination in his eyes and the happy smile on his face. Cucumber began to feel a tiny desire to sing along. Unconsciously, she hummed along with Carrot very softly. La la. Cucumber's hum was barely audible, but it was a beautiful start. Then Cabbage the Grumbler, who usually disagreed with everyone, heard Carrot's song and Cucumber's humming. He was surprised. Why is Cucumber humming along with Carrot? And could music really help after all? Cabbage thought to himself. Even though he still wasn't fully convinced, Cabbage started to sway his leaves to the rhythm of the music without even realizing. Swoosh! Swoosh! Cabbage's leaves swayed gently back and forth like he was dancing. When Tomato the Elder saw his friend starting to react, he also began to feel curious. What are these guys doing? Tomato secretly watched Carrot, Cucumber, and Cabbage from his spot. Even though he was still grumbling about nonsense, deep down inside, Tomato started to wonder if Carrot's song could actually do something helpful. Little by little, the other vegetables began to open their hearts to music. Seeing Carrot singing so happily, and seeing Cucumber and Cabbage joining in, the other vegetables started to hum along with Carrot little by little. From soft humming, it grew into a quiet chorus. And finally, when all kinds of vegetables in the garden, even Tomato the Elder himself, joined together in a harmonious song, the music of the vegetables echoed loudly and resoundingly throughout the garden. La la la. Dear soil, please soften and crumble. Dear vegetables, please be bright and lively. The vegetables' song was beautiful, powerful, and full of hope. Their music resonated throughout the garden, and at that very moment, a wonderful miracle occurred. The soil that was once as hard as stone slowly began to soften and crumble in an astonishing way. The roots of the vegetables, which had been wilting, started to absorb water and nutrients again. The vegetables that were once droopy and sad gradually became fresh and vibrant again, as if by magic. The leaves of the vegetables turned bright green again, the vegetable flowers began to bloom, and the vegetable fruits began to grow bigger and plumper. The vegetable garden, which had been so gloomy, came back to life again. And all of this happened because of the song of the mischievous carrot. Dear Grandma Kindheart walked out to look at her vegetable garden, feeling a little puzzled. She had heard music coming from the garden. When she walked closer to see what was happening, she was utterly amazed by the sight before her eyes. All the vegetables in her garden were singing together in harmony, so happily. And the soil in the garden was soft and loose again. Every single vegetable was fresh and lively, just like before. Grandma's eyes welled up with tears of joy and delight. She understood then that music was not useless at all, but a power far greater than anyone could imagine. She smiled at all the vegetables and hummed along softly with their song. From that day on, Grandma Kindheart's vegetable garden was always filled with music. Every vegetable sang with happiness. They were no longer embarrassed to show their talents. Tomato the elder even stopped thinking singing was nonsense. He joined in singing loudly, leading the vegetable choir with great joy. And the song of the mischievous carrot, echoing resoundingly, made this vegetable garden become the most beautiful, vibrant, and happiest vegetable garden in the whole world. This story teaches us that never be ashamed to show your talents or do what you love. Because your talents and passions are valuable, even if others may not understand them at first, just like Carrot, who was never ashamed to sing. Opening your heart to try new things and believing in yourself can lead to amazing and unexpected results, just like the other vegetables who opened their hearts to sing and brought the garden back to life. The power of cooperation and music can create good things and transform what seems impossible into possible, including being open to listening to different opinions.